Hey, everybody, we are live. Let me bring in Mr. Anthony Melchior here. Anthony, good to see you, sir.
How are you, my friend? How's it going today?
Another great day, and wasting away in Coronaville. Maybe that's what the method is. It should be for today. So sorry if I'm a few seconds late, and sorry if I worried you. I hit the go live button, and it said you're not approved to go live. So I completely freaked out. Hit the reset. We're live right now. Thank you guys for being here and joining us once again for another live show. As you know, Anthony and I are trying to do live shows every single day so we could keep you posted. Look at us, 500 shows, brother. How crazy is that, dude?
Look at that, and thank you to our producers for putting that together, Dave and Suzanne.
Yeah, that's right. Really incredible. So, hey, everybody, thank you so much. It's a really exciting day for me, for us, for everyone. I've been doing this podcasting thing for about 10 years, Anthony, and I started No Vacancy in earnest in June of 2016. A little over 5 years later, we hit 500 episodes, including plus hundreds and hundreds of other episodes that we've done, including a lot of episodes that we did together when it was just checking in with Anthony and Glenn 2 days a week.
Right. So this is officially, we're marking this as our 500 show. And one of the first shows we ever did, I was in a car, and I'm still in the car.
I love Go on.
Just so everybody knows, on Monday I said, hey, I can't make it Wednesday. I'm driving my daughter up to college, and I'm putting her in a dorm. And then the producers basically had me arrested and said, whatever you have to do, you have to be on the show. So here we are.
All right, excellent. Just like old times, but I got to tell you, being here on August 18th, 2021 is much better than that first clip we saw back in March 2020. We looked a little shell-shocked back then. It's great to see how far things have come.
Yeah, actually, it looked. I looked a lot better, and you looked a lot better than I remember, because what I was thinking and the way I looked were two different things.
Exactly. I love that my glasses had fallen apart, and I couldn't get new glasses, so I had mine all taped up. It was a complete.
So mess. I'm confused. We were told we weren't supposed to do anything, and we're doing all the work. We're the producers.
I'm supposed to queue up Dave, but I have to do this first. I want to thank everybody out there for being so awesome. In particular, the good folks at Ecotech Technology. You know them for these bins, but they've been such supporters of us for so long, Anthony. I just wanted to give a big shout out to them. A big thank you to Tom Gilmore and the team over there for trusting us with his money every single month to help market this great product. I hope all of you guys out there are using it. Of course, you're going to save some money. Environmentally friendly, saves on labor. It's the right thing to do, right, Anthony?
Yeah. And thank you so much. And we're having a couple of new sponsors come on as well. And thank you for all the old sponsors. But I think they've been the longest, most consistent sponsor. So, I don't think you and I ever used the word sponsor when we first started the show and say, hey, we're going to do the show and get a lot of sponsors. Yeah. But now, fortunately, they're lining up. So that just says a lot to our consistency and the guests that come on. And so to all the guests that come on, all the guests that are going to come on, to our producers, all of our producers, the ones who started with us, the ones who are with us now, just thank you, because we couldn't do it without you. And of course, Glenn Houseman, thank you to you for being the straight man. And you're the play-by-play, and I'm the color, right?
Right. That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, somebody just came up to me with that, and said, hey, you guys are like, I'm like, I know, we already figured that out. It's freaking awesome the way that we compliment each other, and we have such a good time here 4 days a week,
So you're Abbott, I'm Costello.
Right. Okay. That works for me. All right, everybody. At this point, I'm supposed to cede control of absolutely everything My hands are up, Dave and Suzanne.
You've already taken way too much time. I mean, 5 minutes in, you're supposed to just do Ecotech.
You don't tell me for a second you thought that was going to be about 3 minutes. Come on.
No, I know. And producer Suzanne's in the back. She's going to be joining us as well. But guys, congratulations on 500 episodes. It is unbelievable to think that, again, August 18th, from when we started back in March, that we've gotten to this point. But I'd be remiss, and Glenn, you kind of touched on it at the top, to not talk about how none of this would have happened if you never started No Vacancy in the first place,
right?
All those years ago. So producer Suzanne put together an amazing clip. I'm going to have her play it for you in 1 second, looking back at not just the first No Vacancy, but also checking in and how those two shows came together to form this amazing No Vacancy Live. So producer Suzanne, whenever you're ready.
All right, this is going to be interesting.
Houseman, how may I help you?
Hi, this is my first time checking into this hotel. Funny though, got this real strange sense of deja vu. It's like I've been here before, but everything is different. You know, like I've been doing this for years, but it's all suddenly new and improved.
Yes, sir. Will you still be a total letdown as a podcast host? Or perhaps this time you'll have something smart to say?
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. I guess you'll have to tune in to find out.
Do you live, eat, and sleep in the hotel industry? Looking to brush up on your game? You've come to the right place. Welcome to No Vacancy, the hospitality industry's #1 podcast, with your host, Glenn Hausman.
Hello, and welcome to No Vacancy. My name is Glenn Hausman, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here with me today. Why? It's my first show. I love a series of firsts. And for me, this year has been a lot of first things. I started a new career, I've started a new business, and I've started working as editor-at-large with Hotel Management, putting out 2 great columns a week for them. But what I really most like is having an opportunity to talk directly to you.
Now, that is the first ever No Vacancy podcast.
So, Dave, can I jump in and give a little backstory about why that joke was freaking hysterical?
Of course you can.
All right. So we used to start the No Vacancy podcast with a different hotel-related joke every single week. But at my old job, I did 100 episodes of a podcast that predated this, and I kind of learned all the skills and stuff like that. So that was kind of a cheeky callback to the old company that I left to go before I started this company.
So what date was your first podcast?
No Vacancy live. No Vacancy with Glenn.
No, first time you ever put your mouth on a mic for a podcast.
About 10 years ago.
Okay, 10 years ago. Do you know who else was doing a podcast 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Almost no one.
I know.
Okay, almost no one. Joe Rogan was in his basement 10 years ago doing the podcast. It was you and Joe Rogan. You were really ahead. You were really ahead of the curve. It's amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Well, I want to ask you, Glenn. And I want to go back to when you created No Vacancy as a company as a whole.
Right.
Talk us through that. Why did you do that? How did you go about it? How did you get it to be as successful as it is?
Well, big thanks to everybody out there for helping us make this really successful. It really wouldn't be something without everybody out there supporting us, encouraging us on, and willing to be open and honest when our guests. But for me, I wanted to start this company for 2 different reasons. I've said this before. Number one, I was at that point of my life. I was 45 years old. I was 44 when I started thinking about it. And I knew I'd seen the story over and over and over again, Anthony. And I know you've seen it. Somebody hits 50. Suddenly they're out and they have to figure it all out. I wanted to be in control of my own destiny. I also saw an opportunity with the market shifting to all videos, podcasts, and a different way of communicating than traditional print journalism that the hospitality media had focused on. Combine that with a little of, I didn't like the direction my former company was going for how it would appeal to me creatively. All of that came together to kind of push me over the edge to start this thing.
Well, it's an inspirational story because, again, you did take control, but Anthony just pointed out, you started this when nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of work that you figured out to make it work where, you're not just some guy. Now people do podcasts, they kind of come and go. How did you make it last for so long?
I just being curious, I think, right, Anthony? I think that's something that we share and why we enjoy doing these interviews. So,
well, I think the first thing you have to do is make a commitment, and we made a commitment to each other that we're going to do this all the time. There's sometimes I'm in my car like today, I could easily take the day off. You guys say, no, we're going to do the 500. So I'm here in the car. I brought my suit with me so I don't look like I'm sweating like I just was 5 minutes ago doing my daughter's dorm. So it's really important to first make a commitment to we're going to do this and the rest will come. And I think that that's really kind of what I try to tell everyone is say yes and figure out the rest later. The strongest word in the English language, the most important word in the English language is yes. So to me, it was a commitment of yes. Everything else, sponsors, producers, graphics, logos, all that stuff came because it was necessary. We updated our equipment. We have beautiful equipment now. We have really good equipment. Yep. It's step by step, and it's also, again, I can't say it enough. It's the commitment of the producers. I mean, you guys commit to the show and spend more hours on the show than I do, and so it's a team effort. But listen, the power of yes, and just the commitment that me and Glenn, and also me and Glenn like each other. Like, forget about, and we talked about this before. Forget about we're funny, we joke around. Sometimes we get on each other's nerves. We have a tremendous amount of respect. I mean, I'm 56 years old, and I can count on one hand how many people I'm close to, and Glenn's one of them. And if you can't really have that level of respect, even when I don't know if it's going in the right direction, even if I don't like maybe the way something was produced, or maybe I didn't like music on something, or maybe this person was boring, and maybe we should do it this way. I rarely ever have those concerns, almost never. But even when I do, it's like, I don't care. Because we get it right 99.9% of the time, and he does most of the heavy lifting. And it's just a pleasure every single day to talk to him. He's like the easiest person in the world to talk to. He never makes fun of me. I always make fun of him, so it's great.
Yeah, but I can handle it, So I know what my boundaries are with you, Anthony. That's a great thing about this partnership that we've had together for the last 3 years plus. So, thinking about where we were about I started No Vacancy Live back in 2016, but then always my dream to add other categories because Anthony, this industry is so freaking amazing. So I had a design show, and by the way, the Hotel Design Podcast is coming back now in a video version. We should be launching that next month. We also had the Hotel Tech Podcast. If you want me to bring that back, sponsor it. And then we had a Business of Hotels podcast, and then the crown jewel, we started checking in with Anthony and Glenn. It was really cool, Anthony, that we hit it off by you being open to doing an interview with me for my show. Then we kind of got together. You wanted to do this kind of podcast idea. We started getting together to record, to figure out a balance. Then we finally went live in August of 3 years ago. We just started season 4, theoretically, of that. So I guess that was 2018.
Well, wait, we don't have to figure it out, Glenn.
What? No.
Producer Suzanne went back and got the audio. So, producer Suzanne, when you're ready.
I don't think she's up there.
There we go.
Come together.
Mr. Hausman?
Yeah, I absolutely am. I'm really excited because on this week's podcast, I have Anthony Melchiori of Hotel Impossible. I can't wait.
Oh, that's great. Is he starting a new show called Podcast Impossible?
Checking in with Anthony and Glenn is brought to you by HD Supply. They're great, aren't they? I love these guys.
It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn. It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn. Teaching you to be the hotel that you wanna be. It's checking in with Anthony and Glenn. Yeah.
And I am the Glenn of Anthony and Glenn. That's Glenn Hausman. I have with me Mr. Anthony Melchiori. How are you, sir?
I am well, Glenn. I am so great. I am amazing. I am full of energy. You know why?
Why? Because it's Friday afternoon as we're recording this?
No, Glenn. Why? Because I'm hanging out with you.
Oh.
Love it. And it's funny as Suzanne sent me that, and I heard it the first time, I forgot about all these little things that made these different shows unique, like your jokes before No Vacancy Live and the awesome, checking in music. And it really was a rush of, good memory to kind of remember, oh, wow, these things really were taking place and how they did and how we've evolved to where we are now. It was really awesome. So thank you, Suzanne.
That song, a lot of people criticize us for it. And I really don't like that song. It's like the more people hated it, the more I loved it. And because I really do love that song. And also when I want to go back because when I first did this and somebody said, why are you doing a podcast? It's like you have a TV show. It's like you're a, in quotes, you're a celebrity guy. Like you're doing podcast. And who's this guy, Glenn? Like, what do you like? Like, who is he? Like, nobody knows who he is. What are you doing? And the more people said that to me, and I'd say a good 6 to 10 people said that to me in the first couple of weeks. And the more they said it, the more I realized that I was doing the right thing, because people status, whether it be you're on TV, whether you're a big name, whether you're on the Today Show, that's what's important to people.
Right.
But what was important to me is working with a person that has integrity, and most importantly is working with a person that knows part of the business that I don't know. He has introduced me and opened me up to a part of the business first of all, I didn't care about. Second of all, I didn't know about. And third of all, I wasn't invited to. And so I knew for all those reasons, it was not only the right thing to do, it was more important to me than anything else I could be doing. And, I remember Randy Zuckerberg about 2 years ago, I was in a conference with her, and somebody said, what's the most important thing you could be doing? And she said, podcasting. And we already had our show, and it was going. But as soon as she said that to me, I was like, she's right. And I just kind of tripled down my commitment. So, I think, what Glenn has done 10 years on podcasting, it's amazing. And be able to support his family, make a living doing this when nobody even thought about this, it's incredible.
Yeah, well, thanks, Anthony.
Well, no, so let's talk about the development of this show, No Vacancy Live, because you guys were doing those podcasts. They were pre-recorded, but obviously March 2020 happened, and you guys got ahead of it and almost naturally just transitioned into this live show, not really knowing where it was going to go, how it was going to take place. You just did it.
That's right.
So what was the timeline, the development of No Vacancy Live specifically?
Anthony, I would say, well, it goes back to that episode that we did with Dr. Primus in Manhattan. Things were getting dark out there. Things were really about to break out and get super scary. I had just come home the day before, something like that, from the California Lodging Investment Conference. The NBA was shutting down. All these other things were shutting down. And it was a real seminal moment in global history there. So what I remember is we went in there. I just started playing with LinkedIn Live that I got access to. We brought all the gear to his office. We set up and we did a show. And that was our first live show together in what would eventually become No Vacancy Live. Then I
didn't remember that. All I remember is we had a drink at the Mark Hotel, and it was kind of in that weird. It was after the podcast. It was that weird, like some people are in, some people are not there, some people are leaving, things are closing, and that was the last meal we had in the restaurant in a long time, and then everything shut down. And so I do remember that, but really. It wasn't, and we've said this before, and I'll say it again. Most of the things I've done in my life weren't really planned out. It was more an idea, action.
Right.
Whether the movie, the TV show, the podcast, my business, all the things I get involved in, it's okay. This is the idea, action. And then when I take the action, I basically start putting the tiles in front of me as I'm walking over them, as opposed to having this big grand scheme of a plan. And I think this podcast is the same thing. It's like, okay, let's throw a tile down. Let's go do the thing at Dr. Primus. And then let's start throwing the tiles down and walking on them as we throw them down.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. And then we just started, I think we didn't do anything the next day, but right after that, I just started going on air, and I think within a day or two, you joined me every single day. And at first it was like random times throughout the day. And then I'm like, hey, let's standardize the time to 12 o'clock. And I think at that point, we didn't have a name. We weren't calling it anything at that point because it was still, what are we? What are we doing here? But I think that was really the real beginning of helping to guide everybody through this crisis and sharing together, and the beginning, that nascent stages of that community that I think we've created, Anthony.
Well, I think when people started lining up to be on the show, that's when I was like, oh, wow. And now to listen to people in the industry, like somebody said to me the other day, they're like, I got to be honest with you, Anthony, the show's boring. I don't like it. Like you guys, you don't really say anything interesting for me, so I don't listen to it. I'm having dinner with this guy. He's a friend of mine. They're like, great, fantastic. You know what? You're in the coffee business. Do a podcast about coffee and see how many times I listen. This show is for hotel geeks and people interested in. It's like if you're a mechanic and I have a mechanic podcast, I'm probably going to listen to it.
Right.
But if I'm not a mechanic, I don't really care how to change the oil. I don't care. Right. So if you're not, and that's what I loved about this, because the geeks of the world showed up. You know, and when I say the geeks, I mean anybody interested in hotel business. You don't have to be in the business, but if you're interested in it, you can get. We gave you a master's degree in the last 2 years, and not us, but the people that have come on.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's this is not. And somebody said to me, a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends in the whole world, said, Anthony, this isn't you. This isn't who you are. It's like you're taking away from who you are. Hotel Impossible is really who you are. And I'm like, Hotel's Impossible who I am when I'm turning around a hotel. This is who I am when I'm talking to somebody over a cup of coffee.
Right. Yep. And hey, David?
No, go ahead, Glenn.
No, I was just going to say, and make sure you tune in for the new coffee podcast we're doing. But
well, Anthony, you made a good point there about, when people started to line up to come on the show. There we go.
Hey, love
There's
it.
the first episode.
Hey, that was before my glasses.
And I'm here in Manhattan and just love what I do. And yeah,
but you've been in and out of hotels. I mean, what people don't know is when I was a young manager in the hotel business,
right,
3:00 in the morning, this gentleman would show up with his bag and he would go up to a room. 5:00 in the morning, 8:00 at night. I was like, I don't know when he ever slept. I mean,
I sleep when I drive home.
But seriously, like there's days like you're up at 4:00 in the morning, you're in the hotel. Help.
So that's where it all started.
Everyone from the regular traveler to, we won't name names, but superstars.
Yes.
You have a lot of clients that are A-list superstars.
And kings and queens.
And kings and queens. Well, he's a king, and I'm a king.
You're
Yeah, who's a queen? But
and Dr. Primus has been on a couple times since then, obviously. But did you guys ever expect this to become this long-term project that we are now doing, or was it something to just kind of get us through the pandemic?
Anthony?
I'll say this. When people commit, I'm not saying me or Glenn, when people commit to something, great things happen. Big part of great things happening is showing up. So I really don't. Like I have goals, but Glenn knows there was a couple of deals I was dealing with and they blew up. And people are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, sorry about what? Like, what are you sorry about? Like, I don't think of things like that. I think of showing up, being prepared, being focused, and stuff will happen or it won't happen. And if it doesn't happen, I'm just I just quickly change course. Like right now, for some reason, Glenn doesn't want to do the podcast. I'm done. I'm not doing the podcast. If this is all about Glenn. If Glenn doesn't do it, I'm out. As long as Glenn does it, I do it. And for some reason, Glenn doesn't want to do it. It's done. And then tomorrow, I'm on to something else. And whatever I want to do, I'm going to do. So to me, the answer is yes. As long as we enjoy doing it, it'll be what it is. And so I just don't look. I wish I could answer it like a normal person, but I can't.
Right. Well, you're not a normal person, so that's just the answer we were expecting. For Dave, for me, I will tell you what was going through my mind. Not a whole lot. On that ride home that night, after Anthony and I had that food, I lost 3 or 4 major clients just in the car ride on the way home. By the time I woke up the next morning, I think it was 75, 80% of everything that I had set for the entire year. All the speaking gigs went away, all of that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really thinking about, oh my God, this is the next great opportunity. It was just like, what the hell am I going to do? I could sit here and cry, or I could just go on air and start talking to people. And that's kind of what we did. I think it was pure. I think it was organic. And I think that it was just really great that everybody started to share. And because of that, because of the community that happened, because of the thousands of people we had listening every day, I think that just made it into something.
Yeah,
but
yeah, and I think we both felt like misery loves company. Is like we all needed to be together, right? Because like it's true. Like when you see somebody else not doing well, if you're one of those people, you're like, oh, you get excited. Oh, I'm doing better than them. I'm not that person. I want everybody to do well, but this was a case in, oh, this all sucks, and we're all in this together, and we have no choice but just put one foot in front of the other. So I could have worried about everything I wiped away from me financially. I could have worried about, everything, or I could have just said, well, everybody's in the same boat I'm in. and we'll just figure it out. And I again, not to have this your question be an inspirational quote, but I truly believe if somebody said to me, Anthony, could you run a 250-mile marathon? Do I want to? No, I won't do it. If I wanted to, I can do it. Just I run a marathon, we can do a podcast. If you want to do something, you'll do it. If you want to win a gold medal in swimming and you're 16 years old, you're going to win one if you put your mind to it. So to me, it was just like, oh shit, a pandemic. I got to take care of my family. I got to take care of my everything that's important to me. And I just got to keep myself busy. That's it. That's all that was in front of me. There was nothing more complicated than that. There was nothing more scary than that. It was keep my kids and my family healthy and, secure my cash and just focus.
Yep.
What would you say, you guys, whether it be from the show itself or just from a personality level? I've learned a lot just from working with you guys, and I'll dive into that in a second. But what have you guys learned over the last year and a half as you developed this show? And Anthony, you talked about we've got better equipment, we've got different techniques. What have you guys learned from yourselves, about yourselves, through this whole thing?
What have we learned about ourselves?
Like, do you learn anything? Is anything like? I'll give myself an example, right? So I've learned working with you guys that the difference between being good and great isn't that far apart, but the way to get from good to great is a lot of hard work. And a lot of people don't make it. And seeing how both of you operate, seeing how both of you pay such attention to detail, you can see the difference between good and great. And Glenn, we talk about this a lot of times. There's a lot of things that happen on these shows, whether it be an audio thing, a video thing, that regular people won't notice, but we notice it. And we take it very personally when it happens, Like
the wireless mics that I can't get perfect. So
exactly. And there was a clip that was from a show that we did that really kind of personified that for me. I'm going to play it here. I think Anthony is going to enjoy it. I'm sure he's going to remember.
I won't. It's probably him yelling at me.
I want to back up and I want to ask you a question. And I'm going to say something, and what's the first thing that you react to? What's the first thing that comes to your mind? Somebody on your team says, that's good enough. Oh.
So that promise you one was that to me today. That's not possible. No, that's just simply look at that. I'm already shaking and
I know.
This can never be said.
That's it. It can never be said.
I mean, I love that. And that we've been pulling out clips from different shows, Suzanne and I, but that one I already had pulled out because that really spoke to me. Like, that is, of course, Anthony and Glenn were talking. I'm sorry, Glenn and Anthony and Francois were talking about the Pierre and running luxury hotels, but that translates to this show. Right. It translates to anything anybody is doing. I mean, Pierre's reaction was natural. It was organic. He really was taken back by that statement. Anthony, I know that you knew that's what he was going to say.
We lost your sound.
Anthony's on mute.
I live that. I live it, right? I live it. It's like, it is or it isn't, right? Either you have it or you don't have it, that in you. If someone has to explain that to you, then it's going to be hard for you to live that your whole life. That's what I do. I'll give you an example. Suzanne, the other day, we're working on a new keynote, and Suzanne said, hey, can you just send me some stuff just so I have a starting point? Because I sent her an article and things kind of what I want to focus on, and that's the outline. And now just write an outline, and then I'll talk about it when I get on stage. It's that simple. And she said, I really want a good starting point. I said, no. She's like, why? I said, because you know me, you know the information. No. The reason I did that is because Suzanne is incredibly smart. I would say brilliant. And she's a researcher. And she knows me. And she knows my personality. And she knows the people I talk to. If I give her something, it's going to be as good as I can do it, but not as good as she can do it. And what she can probably come up with is better than what I can come up with. So good enough isn't good enough for me. And if I would have allowed her to look at my tape and say, hey, this kind of start here, it would have been good enough. It wouldn't have been better than it was. So that one little thing that Suzanne probably didn't even think I realized I said, of course I knew what I said, and I've thought about it after I said it. Because was that the right thing to say? So to me, and Glenn and I have dealt with this before. It's like when we first started, like he said, he knows how he can push me and what he can't push me on. He knows what is important to me and what's not important to me. Mm-hmm. And that to me is it. It's like it's not good enough. unless you feel like you can sleep well at night. I mean, the worst thing when somebody puts their head down is like, think of us, right? We're all parents. Think about the moment you said something at the dinner table or to your kid, and you're like, "Oh crap, I shouldn't have said that." Right? That stuff lays in your head at night. So to me, when I'm working with somebody, for somebody, or I'm leading the charge, if I said or did something to screw up the plan, I'm not gonna sleep all night. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna fix it. So when he said good enough isn't good enough, it's not a quote. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right. And Colleen's Frankie Harris, of course.
Oh, hold on, we're getting some feedback. Now, it wouldn't be a 500th episode if we were getting some audio feedback. I love it. But, that also brings me back to talking about the development of the show and not being good enough in certain aspects. And we definitely had some rough times. We were starting to do some of these remotes and learning our way through and figuring things out. And it was a challenge a lot of the times, especially the early ones that we did. And that's for me.
I would clarify it as a cluster F a lot of times. Not
to me, and I hope you don't play those because it's going to be very bad sound.
No.
But I think this is where me and Glenn learned something about each other. I don't care about mistakes. I don't care about them. What I care about is stop them, and then don't make believe they're not happening. Just end it, tell the audience, and then let's move on. And I think in the beginning, the first one or two times we screwed up, we were pretending it didn't happen. And we were just pushing through, and that drove me nuts.
Well, that was all my fault because I come from the other side of the universe where it's like the show must go on. You got to push through, right? Because I have so much experience on stage. You can't hit a stop button. You just got to deal with whatever happens.
No, but you can hit the stop button and make fun of yourself, or hit the stop button and let the audience know what's going on. Instead, we kept on plowing through.
Right. I kept on plowing through. You were the victim of that. I was dragging you along, scratching you up, the turning bus.
But there were a lot of great lessons in that, right? I learned a lot of stuff from that. We learned how to create the show, right? We got the boxes now. We have our beautiful sound effect filled box that Anthony loves so much with the sound effects. But we wouldn't have had those issues never arose, and we didn't push ourselves to figure out better. But let's talk about some remotes. We've done several of them. The first one was the Mohegan Sun remote. I don't know how much you guys remember about that, but that was
July 2020.
July 30th. 2020
So
was when we did that episode. Come on, Glenn. But that was an interesting time to go out and get into a resort and go travel together. And there were a lot of questions about that, off camera, obviously, where we were setting up. And, from a personal standpoint, before going up, I certainly had some concerns. This is back in July of 2020, as we just said. There was still not a lot of knowledge about what was happening and understanding at least certainly not as much as we have now.
Right.
I had some concerns going up there originally. I was in the room for 25 minutes, wiping everything down with the Clorox wipes, and that's when Clorox wipes were really at a premium. What were your guys' thoughts going up and doing that, as we were getting ready to travel to Mohegan Sun and do this live show? What was going through your guys' minds?
Well, for me, it felt really great to be able to go out there and do what we love to do, which is travel and get out on the road and show people that you can do it if you're careful. On the other hand, the technology issue, that was a completely other different challenge. Anthony, how did you feel?
I'm a pretty simple guy. It's just like, okay, let's go do this. Let's be safe and let's have fun. The number one priority for me is safety and fun in an environment like this. So again, I really don't think beyond my hand sometimes. And that was just put one foot in front of the other and just let's do the right thing and not get anybody sick. And just, not a lot of goals. Just let's make sure we get there. Everybody's safe. Everybody feels comfortable. Let's set it up. Everybody's safe. Everybody feels comfortable. Let's go live. Everybody's safe. Everybody's comfortable. Let's go have a drink. So to me, it was just what's in front of you, manage it. And then don't worry about what's happening the second time. So I was very much compartmentalizing that whole trip.
And
sure. Yeah, Dave, sorry.
A little behind the scenes story for everybody out there. I could have made a lot of money that day had I just listened to Anthony Melchiori. You know, Anthony, I'm not sure if you remember this or not, but
I remember it like it was like freaking 2 seconds ago because I wanted to punch you in the face.
We're walking from dinner back towards the elevators. We're walking through the casino floor, and Anthony, we stop, and Anthony goes, "Put some money on the roulette wheel. Put it on 27. 27 is going to hit." And I'm like, you know, I'm unemployed. I don't have a lot of money to put down. I let the ball spin. Sure enough, what comes out? Number 27. At 35 to 1 odds, I could have made a lot of money just by listening to Mr. Melchiori.
No, but what happened when? Tell them the other story when you pissed money, when you burnt money. Tell them that story. That story I'm thinking about.
Okay, so we're at the casino again. I'm trying to be frugal. I'm not playing. So Anthony very graciously gave me some cash to play. We're sitting at the table, and I ended up winning, and I made back the money that Anthony gave me.
Right.
So being the gentleman that I am, you know, I gave Anthony his money back, thinking, "Hey,
how much was it? How much was it? I don't remember.
It was $300.
Okay, all right.
So I made that money back. I said, "Here, Anthony, here's the money you gave me. I already covered myself. I really appreciate it." He goes, "Why are you giving me this for? That's already money I spent. Here, put it on the table." And he puts it down on the table. I'm like, "Anthony!"
No, I was like, "Take the money back."
Oh yeah, he just said
no.
that. Take it back, and I said no.
Or
yes.
I'm gonna burn it. I said, "Take the money back, or I'm gonna burn it." And he took them, and he didn't take the money. I said, "Good, I'm just gonna bet it. And whatever I win, I'm keeping, putting in my pocket." And I lost it $300. And you should have seen his face. He turned white, his eyes lit up, and he was like, "What'd you do that for?" I was like, "Dude, when my mother said this to me, and I really am. I listen to this. When somebody gives you something, you say thank you and you take it. I literally, the only thing I won't do is like I won't let you guys buy me dinner. But if you guys give me something, I'm gonna take it and say thank you."
I was very appreciative, but I did learn a lesson, and I have never given since. I learned my lesson. But I want to talk about another remote trip that we did and a little off-camera conversation, peeling back the layers for our viewers. Remember that awesome drive through the Catskills when we did the Resorts World Catskills trip?
We almost died in this. We almost died in the snow. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. So why don't you? I remember that all too well. I have a funny story about that from my own perspective. But Glenn, tell us from your perspective, because you were the first one out. Me and Anthony were following your tire tracks in a way, but so you kind of paved the way for us. So, what was going through your mind during these? So let me set the scene. I'm sorry, guys. It's February. We're doing the Resorts World Catskills shoot. The next day, we're going from Resorts World Catskills to Roxbury, and it's snowing all morning in the Catskills, and the GPSs don't know that it's snowing, and we end up on this road that is clearly a summer home for people probably in Manhattan, because all the houses have icicles literally from the ceiling to the ground. There's no lights. They didn't treat the roads. They didn't plow the roads. So we're driving on fresh snow with no cell service, mind you. Right. So if we get stuck, we can't call anybody.
Right.
Glenn, what was going through your mind as you're leading the way in this charge?
What was going through my mind the entire time was effing Google, man. What the hell? It says this route, you'll save 7 minutes. I almost drove off the road 7 times at like 10 miles an hour. It was insane. I will tell you guys, I don't know how, we're used to the snow. We're no wimps when it comes to that. We have a lot of experience, but there was something about the consistency of the snow and the amount that made those roads seemingly impossible.
With four-wheel drive.
Right. And
we all had four-wheel drive.
Right. And it just sucks because you have to go really slow. And the second you tap the brake, your car just starts sliding off the road. And you have to hope you steered back before you went rolling off a cliff. But we all managed to survive, right, Anthony?
Yeah. For me, what it was, again, one foot in front of the other, I kept my eye on light. Like if I saw a farmhouse, if I saw, as long as I saw that I can get somewhere to get help, I was calm. But I got myself stuck in the middle of a farm somehow. And I was like, I'm not getting out of this. And I was like, all right, I see lights. I'll just go help them. So eventually I got out. I went back and forth. But, it's just another adventure. We said, yes, let's show up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Say yes and see what happens.
What a great show. And that was such a great show. And I was going to say, when I was doing the drive, I was, same I'm sure as you guys in certain ways. I was, concerned, a little tense, a little anxious. But when I turned into the Roxbury, all of that went away because that was just such an amazing property and such an amazing show.
And you still had a pulse. So
Can I tell you what my favorite remote was?
Yes, absolutely.
The executive producer was Anthony Melcheri, and I was in Vegas all by myself.
We were going to talk about that show actually because that was such a great. So that was when we went out, and that show was on September 30th, 2020. So make sure you guys go back and check that out. But Anthony went out to Vegas to cover the reopening of Park MGM.
Right.
And that was one of the coolest experiences I think we've had on this show because, and Glenn, we've talked about it.
It was
when
not
you're looking
at all. I was in New York.
Well, you weren't there, but when you're looking behind Anthony as we're doing the show, they opened the doors as we were doing the show. So Anthony was the first one in the building aside from the staff. Behind Anthony, when we start the show, there's nobody there. It's empty casino floor. About halfway through, people start showing up. There starts to be activity. People start to play. People start to look in and see what Anthony is doing. And it was just this really cool moment on camera of life coming back as we're doing the show. I thought it was really cool. And Anthony was the executive producer. Anthony was out there by himself. And Anthony got it all done properly. So kudos to you.
Well, the secret was I had my video guy from my social media there helping me. But the reason I like that the best because I think that was the best backdrop. They gave us a really beautiful backdrop, and I really liked the way it was set up. It was really, really pretty, and I really I enjoyed that. And I enjoyed being in the building first. And matter of fact, I'm actually happy to be going back there tomorrow.
Oh, very cool. Well, we do know, Anthony, you've talked about. You like to play poker. When we're on these remotes, we all do we get together, we have dinner. Sometimes we do our separate things. But remember the poker show we did?
I do.
That one time, guys?
I remember.
How much fun was that?
When I got really drunk and cheated?
Well, since you want to talk about when you got really drunk and cheated, even though you never cheated, didn't actually cheat. But
I cheated.
There was a specific moment. And Chris Green, if you are watching, enjoy.
Anthony's all in.
Chris Green's a cheater. Okay.
Oh, so Chris has a pair of queens. Anthony's about to be out.
Oh my God!
Here, Anthony is out.
Busted.
Anthony is out.
Busted.
Chris Green has officially knocked out Anthony Melcheri, and we aren't even playing for an hour.
Oh my God! I have a feeling Anthony's going to have to make another donation in order to come back to try to beat the wrath of Chris. Here comes Chris.
And here comes Chris Green. Chris Green.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Of all
Thank
people
you.
to beat me. I know exactly what the topic's going to be on tomorrow's show, baby.
I know exactly who's not going to be on tomorrow's show.
Now, again, a little bit of a backstory here. That's back when Chris was on every Tuesday and Thursday. And Colleen, thank you again so much for all your donations. Colleen was a real superstar. Is always a real superstar, but was a real superstar through that. But that's when Chris was on every Tuesday and Thursday. And there was a lot of behind-the-scenes chatter about who was going to knock who out, if I remember correctly. So it was a very fun time. That was a really awesome experience from all. What did you guys take away from that? Because again, Glenn, you're not really a poker player.
No, I took away a hangover for one. But secondly, Colleen is saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dave has been produced from the get-go. We had another producer, Jeff, that was doing the daily show, but Dave was booking guests and helping me with that right from the start, pretty much right out of the gate, I think. Right, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, once you guys started the show kind of in second week of March, I was furloughed the third week of March.
Right.
And I just kind of jumped in with you guys.
Yeah.
What I remember from that show is not so much from that show, but what I remember from today is that you're not going to be a producer tomorrow because you brought it up. So,
well, it's a good thing that we have another producer on the show now. Let's bring her in, Miss Suzanne Bagnara, or as you guys know her, producer Suzanne.
Hello, everyone.
Professor, how are you?
So,
go ahead.
Suzanne, I'm going to give you, Suzanne, you mind if I give you a nickname right here, right now?
Bring it.
Since you have a PhD, I'm just going to call you Doc from now on. Can I call you Doc?
Sure.
All right. That's your name from now on.
Well, Suzanne, you have a really...
just don't call me Dopey, all right?
Don't call me late for work.
You have a real unique perspective of this show, Suzanne, because you were, a viewer first, then you now are a colleague. So what has your perception of the show been, kind of making that transition from someone who just sees what we put on versus what's behind the scenes?
Well, certainly, and don't forget, I was also a guest in between there as well. So certainly had.
Oh yeah, you were a guest. So you've hit the trifecta: viewer, guest, and producer.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, and so I've been a long fan, actually, of both. So even way back from when Anthony did the show, in terms of Hotel Impossible, following him as a GM and trying to incorporate what he was doing in my classroom. Then on my commute, listening to the No Vacancy podcast in my car on the 2 hours into Boston, and then I had ankle surgery, so I was like literally sitting on my sofa watching you guys in March and there and beyond. And like literally I was showing Dave, like, I have this notebook. I filled it up with all the notes that I was taking from the show when you guys were going, because I was starting to use that for the basis of some research for hotel cleanliness and restaurant cleanliness that I started working on. And just my ideas started swirling, and then opportunity to come on to the show in February happened, and being prepared for that. And just, I think that's when Anthony outed me with my pineapples and my shower curtain.
Which was in the slideshow at the top of the video, Suzanne. I noticed you got that in there, so good job by you. But I remember that episode.
Yes, he promised he wasn't going to tell anybody, but and yes, Red, I do have a PhD. My PhD is in hospitality management from Iowa State University. If anyone wants to walk down that plank, I'm happy to help answer questions for those that are interested.
Well, it's a cool thing that you bring that up, Suzanne, and Anthony, you brought up her doctorate, because you're someone who has been in the industry for a long time. You've been a general manager. You have a doctorate, and you still found enough content and enough knowledge from the show to have a full notebook, right? So you took a lot away, and you could have been someone that says, I know a lot, right? So that's obviously a good kudos to you. But what was something you learned from the behind the scenes of the show, about the show, that maybe as a viewer you didn't, necessarily understand at the top?
Well, I think the preparation that goes in, and I am always, ironically, I've met Anthony, and I've met him in person, but I've actually never met Glenn. And so I think that is another component. Go figure. There we go. That's when Anthony and I first met, when he came to Boston University. And then this was this past April when we've been down in Florida. Lots of great things have happened because of this opportunity. And so, yeah, I haven't met Glenn. So we actually have more of a chance to engage and connect when we get started before the show. And we wait patiently for Anthony to come on and then check his lighting and his video in a very short window before we go live. I'm always early to the game. So in the beginning, I think Glenn had to get me to calm down. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's not here. And he's like, no, normal. We're good.
I was the same thing. I remember those days.
And so for me, I think if Glenn would remember, Glenn posted a wrong link when he sent it out. And I was like, Glenn, take that link down. It goes to the wrong thing. And this was back in April. And I was still teaching and we were winding down. I was like, I wish I could help you all a little bit more. And he goes, wait, you'd really help me? And I'm like, well, why not? You really need help now that Dave went to work, and I'm watching you anyway. So I might as well pitch in.
Which was great, because I'll tell you, after Dave went back to work and I was trying to, keep this show moving along and do all the other stuff, that was a disaster. So thank you for saving us. Anthony.
You're on mute, Anthony.
What's so funny is the reason I love Glenn is because you can say, hey, Glenn, dude, there's a URL that's up there that's going to a missile silo in Missouri. And he'd be like, oh, all right. let me fix that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on. First I have to go to the bathroom. I'll fix it.
Right.
Like he's so like he gets nervous. Like I've seen him a couple times where he's like right before the show we're on set and he gets real nervous. But typically he just handles everything very, very, very calmly. And but he's
that's because after what we've been through in the last 18 months, nothing that used to rise to the level of being freaked out gets to that level anymore. So
yeah, there's a couple of times where you were like on the edge, and I literally sat there and I was like, I want to see what it looks like when you pull a dog's tail when they're eating. And I almost did it. and I did it. But almost a couple of times, I almost went, let me go screw with him, and let me see. I want to see him yell at me.
Well, and that's one reason I think you guys work so well together. But everybody out there, again, we're peeling back some of the layers here. The way that they are on camera, the way they interact with each other is the exact same way they interact with each other off camera. At dinner.
Not quite. A little more colorful language. That's probably
that is true. That is very true. But whether we're sitting at dinner, whether we're on these remotes, they are the same way, and it's really fun to be around. And Anthony, you said your favorite remote. So Glenn, we're running on time already, which is crazy. But
I know that.
What's your favorite remote, really quick?
My favorite remote, really quick. I think they're all really cool because they're starting to evolve now, and really we're doing them regularly. I thought it was a lot of fun, Anthony, being with you in Vegas in June. That was really super cool because I had finally figured out all the technology. The problems seemed to have receded into the past, and I got to the point with the setups where it's all about how much quicker can I do it? How can we simplify that we're doing it? How can we tweak it? So it wasn't a thing of stress. But we had a chance to do great shows with the owner of the Virgin Las Vegas. We got to do a great show with the Fremont Street people. I got to do a show that you did remotely with me just prior to the opening of Resorts World. I got to go to the opening of Resorts World, and I got to do Friday Night Audit from Resorts World. That was an incredible week of different locations, and it shows me now in the future, Anthony, that we could do different shows in different cities in different days, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, for me, the secret of a good remote is the guest, what we're talking about, and also simplicity. Like it should be show up, do it, move on. Like simple. I don't like, and everybody knows me, I don't like when people put a lot of pressure on me. So I love the fact that what you guys do is you do a great job of, like, we go to the remote, you spoke to the people, you know what we're going to talk about. It's usually a great location. I show up, I do my thing, and I go away. That's the way to get the best out of me. And if I have to go there and I have to worry about everything, and I have to worry about, is this going to be a good show? And so the reason this has worked for me is that you guys make it like butter.
And the cool thing is that I'm a control freak over all of this. So we don't have any conflict in it because I have that freedom to just do what I need to do.
We don't. Yeah, that's a good point. We try not to. I don't manage the process, and you don't manage me. That's like you do your thing, I do my thing, and like I don't go and say why is this, why is that, why is this, why is that, because that would drive me crazy.
Right. So I do want to say one thing, Michelle. You're absolutely right. The remote in Dallas for AhoaCon a couple of weeks ago was freaking incredible. As was doing it from the Intercontinental. Downtown Los Angeles the week prior when we were at the America's Lodging Investment Summit, Alice. But it was so cool, Anthony, having that set up and being the official podcast of AhoaCon 21, having the studio right outside the trade show, having people come by, watch what we're doing, broadcast, and finally, internet speeds and conference centers and everything just worked out perfectly.
Suzanne down there laughing.
I don't know. A couple times I was a little stressed out that one Thursday night. I'm like, the sound isn't going to work.
Oh, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. I'm talking about from the studio setup, not something that I didn't have control over.
Let me tell a quick story, if I may, from my favorite remote, though, because it's again a behind the scenes type of story. But this is back from the DC trip.
That was a great one.
We were down in the, we were doing a show at the Riggs, and great show, loved it. That's back in November, I think 9th. We did that show.
Days after the election.
Yeah, it was right after the election. So we're down in DC, we're having fun, and we did the Riggs show, but then we had to film some stuff for with Anthony, post that up in the suite. So we get done with that. We go down and we have a really late lunch. It's like 3:00. We go across the street, have a late lunch, great lunch. Food was great, service was great. But the great people at Xena, Jeff and his team, had set up a food tasting for us. They literally opened the restaurant for us. That was it.
Right.
So we're like, okay, well, we have to go over there. We just ate 30 seconds ago, but let's go see it. Jeff's there with his team. Natalie's there. Chef's there. And let me tell you guys out there, they brought out the works. Great drinks. Chef gave us samplings of appetizers.
Right.
Great chicken sandwich. But there was one thing that stood out to me, and it was that hamburger. And I tell this story because we're sitting down at dinner, and we're all stuffed. And he gave us this hamburger cut in 4. And Anthony, this is the last thing we're eating. Anthony takes a bite, doesn't say anything, puts it down, and walks away. And me and Glenn are like, okay. And now Anthony's just running around the lobby of Hotel Xena. Then he comes back to us and says, where's the kitchen? I got to find the chef. This is the best burger I've ever eaten. Didn't say anything to us about it. Goes and finds Chef. Chef comes out. We obviously give him a lot of compliments, but Anthony.
You left out the most critical word.
The most what?
The most critical word.
What's the most critical word?
This is the best fucking burger I've ever had.
That was actually the exact quote. I was trying to be PC here, but that was the exact quote that he said to Chef when we finally found Chef after Anthony ran around. It was just it was a funny experience because me and Glenn were like, what is going on? And then it was an awesome experience because, again, it was Anthony, someone who holds himself to a high standard, appreciating a high standard of quality.
Didn't you help me produce on that show? I just remembered. Didn't you help me produce my my graduation speech for Park University?
Yes, that's why we were in the suite for 3 hours doing.
Yeah,
it'd be like you get like almost to the end, and then something would go wrong, and you have to start it all over again.
No, we had to go back the second day. Remember
the second day? We went back to Riggs the second day.
And you have no idea how close you got to being fired. Because even though you were helping me, I mean, I'm being 100% sincere. I was so angry at that first day because everything I spent hours in trying to get this thing perfect, and we couldn't use it. And the next day, I said to myself, if I walk into that room and we aren't ready, and the sound ain't working, and all the technology isn't fixed, we got a problem. And I walked in because I was done. I was because it's a lot of work to read, 8 minutes without a break, from a teleprompter that I wrote, but still, it was a lot of work. And you nailed it. But because you did all the work that morning, because you saw, I didn't get mad the night before, but you saw how angry I was. And it wasn't your fault. I wasn't mad at you. Well, I was mad at you because I told you, don't put the teleprompter above the camera, and then you did exactly what I told you not to do, and I was really pissed off. But I didn't tell you I was really pissed off, but you felt it. And then the next day we came in and we nailed it. And I think you still put the teleprompter above, but we fixed it. But and so thank you very much. But that if you take that moment and you times that by 108 episodes, that was me on 108 episodes of Hotel Impossible.
Thank God
I was always seconds from just, I've had enough. I just this is all not working. Because it was so, I felt bad for the people graduating from Park University that they were going to graduate in their basement, and I was their keynote or their commencement speaker, and I wanted to be perfect, and I wanted to bring that energy. So I remember, again, you knowing me as a perfectionist or a detail guy, it wasn't perfect, and it was driving me nuts.
Yeah, best part about that for me. Yeah, best part about it for me was not having to be involved with that whole thing.
Yeah, I washed his hands with that. He was like, "You guys go to Riggs. You guys redo it. I'll see you at the live casino in Baltimore."
That's right. I'm out of here. I've dealt with enough technology issues. I was just happy not to have to deal with that one. But Dave, you are a committed guy. You helped Anthony, and then you said, "I'm gonna go back and have that hamburger again. Forget the casino." Yeah, I'm gonna go.
But you did something. But Dave, I gotta say something. You did something that a lot of people make a mistake of. That morning, that night, you were trying to overcompensate, and you were you're not used to me, and you maybe not used to that level of perfection. And the next morning, you were just quiet and you did your work. You didn't make excuses. You didn't say I'm sorry. You didn't bother me, and I needed to be left alone, and I needed just to hit it and go home. And you nailed it. You set it up. You did it. And you treat, and that was the moment. I was like, okay, it didn't go the way I wanted to go. I was angry, but he recovered from it. And again, you're doing this all as a favor to me, so it's not like you didn't have to do it. So, but you learned me, and you learned that I get to a level that is a little scary sometimes.
Well, again, that's what I said at the top, right? The difference between good and great, it's a lot of hard work to get there, and working with you and seeing that level that you're at, I can see that difference, and it's pushed me to be better. Honestly, it has, and I thank you for it.
Thank you.
So we got to wrap up here, guys. But we would be remiss again. We've had plenty of guests on this show. We've had a couple guests that have been repeat guests.
Yeah.
But there is a certain level of repeat guests that we haven't talked about, but they make their way onto the show all the time. So let's give kudos and respect to our most repeat guest, producer Suzanne.
Am I playing this now?
This is for the picture.
Oh, that's
for our repeat guest.
You're total. I'm thinking,
No, this is for the most. This is the respect that they get.
This is
they have
the
their own
one
section.
that we really need to see.
Glenn Katz have made more appearances on this show than anybody else besides Anthony and Glenn themselves. So we have to do a little 500 appreciation for the various cats running through the screen, tails hitting Glenn in the head, Glenn staying away to throw a cat on the floor. So we appreciate you guys.
I would like to thank Kit Kat, Splotchy, Mr. Mittens, and George for completely trying to derail my show and their selfishness and wanting to eat all the time. So thank you, cats.
Well, listen, guys, we have one more thing we have to do before we wrap this show. So we're going to play that in a second. But Suzanne, again, I want to say thank you to you for stepping in and taking the reins of producing the Daily Show. Because, again, this show is one that we all take a lot of pride in. We've all worked very hard on for a year and a half. When I had to leave to go back to work, there were concerns about how it was going to operate, not because Glenn or Anthony can't do it, but because it's very difficult to drive a show, keep it focused, and then do all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So from my personal self, thank you for stepping in and doing it, because it keeps that quality of the show consistent. And I was very concerned about that at the top.
I hear you. And I'm thrilled that my folks here at Indian River State College are supporting me and allowing me to continue with this fun challenge that we have and being a part of the show on a daily basis.
And I can't wait till the Indian State College lets us announce our thing. So
yes, I had a nice conversation with our president this morning. So
good.
We are getting there, and
a big announcement to come. Big
stuff that's coming and happening. And Dave, thank you. I know a while ago, as I was looking at the numbers and saying, "Hey, we're at 500. We have to do something." And Glenn was kind of like, "I can't think that far ahead," and he's like, "Just figure it out." And so hopefully figuring it out came out to work well for you both today. And we have one final piece that hopefully brings the spirit of the last year or so together for you. And Dave, I can't thank you enough. There's been countless amount of hours in the last month that we have collaborated together behind their backs. And hopefully, I don't think anyone has said anything because they've been really clueless.
No.
And for those that have participated, we sincerely appreciate everything.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Anthony, Glenn, we're going to take a step back now because, again, this is 500 episodes. We're saying thank you, but we're not the only ones who want to give you guys appreciation. So for myself, Glenn, Anthony, thank you for letting me be a part of this. I really appreciate it. Anthony, thank you for your mentorship in my career. Glenn, thank you for your mentorship in my career. I've had a blast doing this. This show is what got me through all of 2020, being able to work on this show and have Fox jumping on my back as we're doing these things. And it was kept my sanity. So thank you so much to you guys. Suzanne, let's put ourselves in the back and allow some other people to show their appreciation to Mr. Melchiori and Mr.
Do we have a video coming up or something like that, Dave? Or should we just stare at the screen? Anyway, while we're waiting for something up
Anthony,
here.
Congratulations. 500 shows. Who would have ever believed it? To be honest with you, not really me from the beginning. When Glenn told me about this project, I thought maybe 5 or 10 shows. But now you've hit 500. On a serious note, you guys are the best. You do so much for our industry. I always enjoy my time with you, both on camera and off. Keep up the great work. You're making a difference. And again, thanks for who you are and what you do for hospitality.
Glenn, Anthony, Jimmy Taylor here. Congratulations. We've heard of the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500, and now the No Vacancy Live 500. You guys are awesome. Thanks for everything you do. And here's to 500 more. Take care.
500 episodes? Or like 500? I don't think I've done anything 500 times. I'm kidding. Congratulations, guys. 500 episodes. That is huge. It just goes to show you that what you are doing means so much and it resonates so much with the the travel and hospitality community. So congratulations, keep it up. I'm here for at least another 500 more, so get to filming, okay?
To Glenn and Anthony, my two brothers from another mother, congratulations on your 500th No Vacancy show. That's incredible. Or as they say in Brooklyn, holy crap. Glenn, you took a chance and you started something unique. And together, you have created a show that is energizing, educational, and fun at a time our industry needed it more than ever. Thanks for keeping it real. All the best in the days ahead. I love you guys.
Anthony, Glenn, David, we here at Echo Technology would like to congratulate the whole No Vacancy team on 500 amazing episodes. Thank you for being such a great partner. We wish you all the continued success. And here's to 500 more and 500 after that. Congratulations.
Yo, what's up, Anthony and Glenn? Congrats on 500. We love you.
Hi, Anthony and Glenn and the rest of the team that has made this show happen for 500 episodes now. When you embarked upon this, I know a little over a year and a half ago, did you have any idea that you would still continue to do it with the same amount of energy and enthusiasm that you kicked into it last year? With that being said, I am hugely appreciative of being part of the podcast on occasion. I am one of your number one fans. I'm sure you have a few of them. And just want to continue to wish you well and provide as much support along the way to continue to make it happen. All the best in future episodes, and congratulations on this milestone, 500. That's impressive.
Good morning, guys. It's August the 11th today as I'm recording this, and I can't believe we're coming up on the 500th show. What an accomplishment. You both have done an amazing job of supporting our industry, telling the story of what's actually going on, and telling the true hospitality story over the past 16, 17 months now. It's unbelievable. And I'm super excited that I was able to play a small part in watching you two lead us out of this mess. So thank you all, and congratulations on 500. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Hey, Anthony, Glenn, 500 podcasts. That's awesome. I remember the start of the Garden City Hotel on Long Island. We had a lot of fun doing those shows together. Thank you on behalf of everybody for doing this, because you make it fun, entertaining, and most of all, informative.
Anthony and Glenn, what an accomplishment. 500 episodes. Thank you so much for everything that you do for our industry. Congratulations.
Anthony and Glenn, congratulations. Number 500. I can't believe it. You guys have been the voice of hospitality for over a year and a half now throughout COVID-19, separating fact from fiction. You've done a great job. Thank you for everything you've done for our industry. It was a pleasure to be on your show. And let's see if you guys got another 500 in you, especially with Grumpy Glenn. Okay, take care, guys.
Glenn and Anthony, 500 episodes. Congratulations, and thanks for bringing us some of the best industry stories.
Hey, Anthony, Glenn, how you guys doing? Hope you made it back from Los Angeles okay. I just wanted to thank you guys for your participation in the investment conference. I thought it was exciting. I hope you got a lot out of it like I did. I also want to congratulate you on your 500th show. I can't believe you've done 500 shows, but it's one of the best podcasts in the hospitality industry and one of the best in the world. So congratulations. Let me get back to work here.
Glenn, Anthony, time flies when you're having fun. It's hard to believe 500 episodes of No Vacancy. You guys rock. Keep up the great work.
Glenn and Anthony, it's Kimberly Krisner with Cornerstone Hospitality in beautiful Williamsburg, Virginia. Congratulations on your 500 episodes. Wow, you guys made such a difference in all of our lives in 2020, and you're continuing to do so today. Hope you continue on. Onward and upward.
Glenn and Anthony, Sloan here. Congratulations on 500 episodes. That is awesome. You guys must be doing something right. And thank you so much for keeping us updated in these crazy times. Take care.
To my great friends, Anthony and Glenn, congratulations on 500 shows. You guys have led the industry through this pandemic. Keep on going. Cheers to you both.
Congratulations, Anthony and Glenn, on your 500th episode. What a tremendous accomplishment, and truly what a fantastic gift you have given to the hospitality industry. Thank you so much for all of your time, energy, hard work, and effort that you put into each and every episode. You guys are amazing, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Congratulations!
Hi, Dad. On behalf of your entire family and the dog, we just want to say that we're really proud of you, and we love you, and we can't wait to see all the success you have in the future.
1, 2, 3.
We can't believe it's 500, but we are not surprised. The show is just so awesome, with Anthony by your side. Your knowledge is stupendous, your guests are awesome too. Your energy's tremendous, and we always love you. Congratulations!
Well, thanks for all the love. Wow, Anthony, I'm like totally moved by that.
Glenn, they did something that I've never seen in all the years I know you. You actually got them. I cry over everything. That made you cry.
Yeah, look, I actually have emotions.
Well, listen, that says a lot about our producers. Thank you very much. You know, I know you guys so well, and I knew that was coming. I said they're going to have a montage of people thanking us, because I just know who you guys are, and you didn't disappoint, and it meant a lot to have my daughter there. I'm surprised you got at least one of the 5, because I imagine they all were too busy to even do it. So thank you, and wonderful to see your family. And you know, someone said something in that video that really hit me as soon as it was said. We separated fact from fiction. And that really resonated with me, because this show, like, you look at the news, you can't, like, I don't care what you look at. You look at Fox, you look at CNN, you look at any of them. Like, you don't know you don't know what the hell's going on. The one thing, if somebody, you know, I'm really glad that they said it, because the one thing that I do take away from this show is we don't allow bullshit on the show. I will call it out. You will call it out. And you will ask a little bit more, you know, in a little bit more corporate way to get to the truth. And I'll just call out bullshit straight up. And I think that that's what's great about this show, is that whatever was on this show was what we know based on science and based on the truth, not based on our opinions. There's a lot of things that I didn't agree with that was on the show. And a lot of people on this show that I didn't agree with that were on the show. And so to me, the fact from fiction really resonated with me when that was said. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to everybody. I'm really moved. I'm really touched. I can't believe we hit this 500th show. And of course, tomorrow we got show 501. I did want to warn everybody that next week I'm taking a vacation. I need a break, need a little summer break, and then we'll be back the week after that. How exciting is that to get started? In the next 500, we've got so many great shows planned. We're going to be all over the United States and maybe beyond as we get moving. Hitesh, thanks for all the support and love and all of that. And I can't wait for 1,000 episodes either. Thank you, everybody, for all the love and support that we got over this last year. I couldn't have done it without all of you. We couldn't have done it without you participating every single day, asking us great questions, helping us drive the conversation forward, and really forming this community that we've all come to enjoy doing 4 days a week over here. Yes.
And thank you for, in a very quick second, saying, no, we need to do it at 12 o'clock. We need to do it every day. That you literally said that, and I was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, 12 o'clock. For some reason, 12 o'clock has worked perfectly for my schedule, and doing it every single day hasn't been as cumbersome as I thought it would be. And, you know, Maritza just said, thanks for the consistency. If you didn't say that and we didn't do that, this show wouldn't be what it is. It was the consistency every day when people were feeling down. It's like some people listen to it every day. Some people listen to it once in a while. But people know when you go to, it's like 1010 Wins News, right? I haven't listened to 1010s in like years. And then once in a while, I have to put it on just because I want to hear what just happened, maybe in New York or something. And I put it on, it's there. And that's what our show's been. It's like, just put it on and we're going to be there.
Yep. And a big thank you to everybody that's come on the show as our guests and the trust that's involved. And again, to being open and honest with us, not playing in any games, because we all are in it together in the spirit of hospitality, in the spirit of mutual success. So thanks everybody for the love. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, listen, how about listening to the audio version of our show, right? We got the whole back catalog. We've got 100 episodes on Apple Podcasts right now, but you can find all those old episodes anywhere. iHeartRadio, Stitcher, whatever. You know where they are. I don't need to say them anymore. I'm verklempt, Anthony. I think I'm done. I think I'm ready to go jump in the pool and have a good afternoon.
You know, so funny, until your family came on, the whole time you were looking at that, and even before you were thinking about, what am I making for dinner tonight?
No, my family's taking me out to dinner tonight, man.
Oh, very nice. Well, hey, Suzanne, Jeff, who started this thing, and Dave, just thank you so much for putting so much time and effort into the 500th episode. As soon as I knew you guys were in control of it, I was like, okay, this will be special because you guys are special. So thank you. And thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. This has been, you know what? Unexpected. I never thought anything would happen, but I couldn't have gone through it without you.
The secret, say yes and show up, right? And that's what we did. We said yes and we showed up.
Yep, and pay attention to the details out there. That's what separates everybody. And I'll tell you, Dave was talking about the details thing. I used to be horrible at the details, and I learned that lesson, and I became fastidious. And everything that people think I'm good at today, I sucked at one time before, but I put in the time, I put in the effort, and we've done 500 shows.
You know what the secret to life is?
Yeah.
Suck less than you did yesterday.
That's right. That's all I try to do. I try to suck less than I was yesterday, try to be a better person than I was yesterday. And hopefully tomorrow I will do the same exact thing. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And then don't forget, we're taking off a well-earned week's vacation. And Anthony, you know what to say. So, wait, we've got one life. So blaze on and
be kind to yourself.
All right. Now you know what to say. Oops. Sorry, guys. I'm going to hit the end.